Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another training here at Elite Ocean View Realty. Today, we're going to be going over the home inspection process. Thank you so much for joining. We are recording our session and we will share our session with you later on today. As always, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free, ask questions. This is a training on the entire home inspection process, how to schedule an inspection, how to read an inspection report, when to challenge an inspection, and how to negotiate pricing with your buyers and sellers to try and lower the cost of the purchase of the home. All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin with a small little slideshow. Then we're going to transition into where we can find an inspection company here in South Florida. And we're going to talk about the inspection period on your contract and knowing the importance of the inspection period. Then, of course, we are going to review the full property inspection report. We're going to also review the 4-point inspection, and we're going to review the wind mitigation verification inspection form. All right, guys. So, part of the home inspection, of course, is a full property inspection report. Okay. That is always going to be ordered when you are scheduling an inspection. Then there's the 4-point inspection and the wind mitigation report. So the home inspection you have with your buyer, you should plan to present during the inspection. You should plan to be present with your buyer during the inspection. So usually you want to schedule an inspection within the first couple of days really of after you have executed the contract. So after you have an executed sales contract, you should schedule an inspection maybe within the first 3 to 4 days, because usually you have around 10 days on your inspection period on the contract. So you want to be there with your buyer. Excuse me, you want to be there with your buyer. The seller does not have to be there. The listing agent does not have to be there either, and the inspection usually takes between 2 and 3 hours. Home inspection should be done again within 7 days of the purchase contract date. The cost ranges, with the different inspection companies out there, you could pay from $300 to $600, and this is out of your buyer. So your buyer is the one who pays for the home inspection. Usually, the inspector will have a little tablet or some way to collect payment at the end of the inspection. All right, so the buyer could have contingencies on the purchase contract, allowing them to back out if the home does not pass inspection. Either way, during your inspection period, the buyer has every right to back out of the contract without, without any repercussions on their deposit. They get their deposit back. And also, a lower purchase price can be negotiated if the inspection finds major repairs necessary. So if the home needs major plumbing repair, AC repair, roof repair, there is a way to lower that price of the purchase if the buyer wants to continue with the purchase of the home. All right, so that is going to be part of your home inspection report. The wind mitigation is going to study the roof. It's also going to study the windows, the doors, the garage doors, and required. This is a requirement for home insurance policy. So let's say you're doing an initial wind mitigation report. The home does not have impact windows, does not have impact doors or garages, and the roof is an older roof. Once the buyer purchases the home and they renovate the home, they install impact windows, doors, and they put a new roof, they are it's recommended that they go ahead and get another wind mitigation report so they can use that for their
Hello.
insurance to lower their insurance policy. Okay. And then the 4-point inspection is going to go through the entire home, which is the dwelling. It's also going to cover the roof, electrical, plumbing, and it is also required by your home insurance for the policy. So those are the 3 different type of inspection reports that are going to occur. There are other things that the home buyer who's ordering the inspection can test for, like mold, radon gas, things of that nature. Of course, it's up to the buyer and the inspecting company to get that done. All right, but usually when you're ordering inspection, you need a full home inspection report. You need that 4-point inspection, and you need the wind mitigation report. All right, so where do we go to order these inspection reports? Let me go ahead and share that screen with you real quick. Now, of course, if you already know a home inspection company that you trust and you want to use, that's fine. But you guys can always go to MiamiRealtors.com, which is the website of the Miami Association of Realtors. You want to click on affiliates. You see right here, affiliates. You want to click on affiliates, and you want to go ahead and go into this page. From this page, you're going to go and select home inspection and engineering. You want to click on home inspection and engineering. Here are some of the top inspection companies here in South Florida. We have Allied Building Inspections. I've used them. They're very, very good. We also have True View Inspections. Again, I've used them as well. They're very good. You have Housemaster, Infinity. These are all very good inspection companies. You have South Florida Inspectors. That's a very good company as well. Guys, all you need to do is give this information to your buyer as soon as you have an executed contract. Let them call and let them schedule an inspection. Remember that time is of essence.
Dale ese pedacito,
All right.
dejarle ese pedacito porque
One
Edgardo
second,
no se
guys.
quiere dormir ya.
Sorry about that. All right, so time is of essence, and you want to schedule an inspection as soon as possible so we can get that inspection done and find out if there's any issues with the home before your inspection period is over. All right. So keep in mind, guys, does anyone have any questions where to find inspection companies? It's not just inspection companies, guys, but when you go to the affiliate section of the Miami Association of Realtors, right, you click on the affiliate directory here, you can find any type of service. All right. You can find contractors, you can find attorneys, real estate attorneys, you can talk accountants. Any type of real estate industry is represented in here, photographers. And go through this, and if you need uh you need someone a service or anything, they're all in here. All right, so right now I want to go ahead and give you somewhat of a little presentation on the inspection report. So we're going to go ahead and share that inspection report now. Give me 1 second here while I pull it up. All right, so when the inspector gets to the home, they're going to inspect the entire house. Everything, utilities must be turned on. You must have electricity, you must have running water, and everything must be ready to be tested. All right, so an inspection report, this is an inspection report done by True View Inspections, one of those companies that we just mentioned. All right, and then you're gonna have here the inspectors, right? If it was more than one inspector, you'll see them here, and then the real estate agent will be here as well. All right, so your buyer will give your information to the inspection company. All right, so you're gonna be part of the report. So here's a little table of contents, the inspection details, the roof, the exterior, basement, foundation, crawl space, structure, cooling, plumbing, electrical, attic, insulation, ventilation, doors, windows, interior, kitchen, built-in appliances, bathrooms, garage, pool, spa, standard practice. All right, so that's all part of this here. You're gonna see, again, a breakdown of everything that is tested, and let's get into the inspection report. So right here we have information on the property, right? Some pictures of the property. And then it continues with more general introduction on the property. We're talking here inspection method, roof, ladder. So we're gonna go ahead and get up on the roof. It talks about the roof, when was the last time the roof was built. So there was an application for a roof permit back in 1995. So this shows you the roof is kind of old. All right. And it goes over the coverings of the roof, roof drainage, ventilation of the roof, and flashings of the roof. All right. So the inspector's either going to climb on top of the roof, or if it's maybe a second floor home, like a 2-story home, they may use a drone. I've seen inspectors take drones and they take pictures with a drone. In this case, I believe the inspector got up on the roof and started to take pictures of the roof. All right, so they're gonna notice if there's any tiles cracked. And in this case, they put here, there are some tiles cracked or broken, and they're gonna give you an estimated cost of repairs. All right. So something like this is not major, right? I mean, something like this, if you're gonna get the roof resealed or painted, a painting company can pretty much seal the entire roof and they can go ahead and paint it, and that's going to take care of this issue. Now, if all these tiles were broken, then you would have a much larger repair cost. All right, so loose tiles here says observe loose tiles on the roof. It's recommended that all loose tiles be properly fastened to the roof. All right, and then the estimated repair is between $250 and $500. So it's going to take pictures of the loose tiles. All right, so right here, contact a qualified roofing professional, damaged vents, so the ventilation system is damaged, and you're gonna get here a repairs, sorry, here, 100 to 300 repair. So basically, next to every single thing found or any item found by the inspector, they're going to provide a recommendation and an estimated cost. All right. So here we have between $500 and $1,500, saying that this is corroded. All right, so we just continue on to the report. You're gonna see a lot of the same thing here. All right, so they're talking about the driveway here and masonry and stucco, plaster, concrete. All right. All right, so we got the doors, right? We got the front porch. And then they started noticing little things, so rear elevation, there's something broken here. All right, there's cracking here on the wall. All of this can be fixed. It's all minor issues. You're probably not going to be asking for discounts on this. It's all wear and tear of a home. It could all be fixed by the person that's purchasing the home. Now, if there's major structural damage on the home, then yes, you may want to ask for a discount. But all these things, those all things that can be repaired by the new homeowner. All right, so things like this, sidewalk trip hazard, tiles cracked. That's all things that you may notice when you're purchasing a home that's a little older. All right, such as this one here. Then they move into the AC, the age of the AC, 2010. All right, and it's a 3-ton AC, and they have pictures of the AC right there. They even include a video of the AC, indoor and outdoors. All right, installation missing or damaged. On this over here, repairs between $10 and $100. It's just a trip to Home Depot, buying that little rubber insulation wrap and wrapping it around that, and it takes care of the issue. Or if you're gonna get a new AC installed, then that's it. All right, so yeah, they're gonna go over everything. They're gonna make sure that it says possible mold. All right, so that's got to be fixed. Once again here, possible mold, AC ducts. So you're looking at this, that's got to get fixed as well. All right, I actually sold this house, and I want to tell you the reason for this is because there was no ventilation inside the bathrooms. These were from the bathrooms, and there's no ventilation in the bathroom. So there was not mold, it was just I guess a little moist around the area. All right, so it goes through the entire home, guys. Electrical panel, there's anything found in the electrical panel, exposed wiring, things like that nature, they're going to recommend fixing. All right, if there's any piping that's broken or exposed, wirings that are exposed, again, recommended fixing. All stuff that needs to be taken care of, okay? So you get to the end of the report and you are going to look at everything that was found and everything that was recommended when it comes time to uh asking for a discount. All right. If most of the stuff are just very cosmetic, something that you can expect a buyer to renovate themselves, you're not going to ask for a discount. If there's major structural damage, like plumbing work that needs to be done or replaced, electrical, let's say the electrical panel is completely exposed, all the wires are exposed, and it needs to be redone. The roof is cracking, there's a leak. The pool, let's say the pool has a leak and it's draining water. Things of that nature, those things you may want to ask for a discount. All right. So how do you ask for a discount? Of course, there's two ways. You can ask to lower the price of the home, or you can ask for a credit at closing towards the buyer. So if the seller agrees to reduce the amount by $5,000, you can either go back to the contract, add an addendum that you are going to reduce the price of the home by $5,000, or right? And this is my opinion that the best thing to do is to ask for a credit at closing, because it's money in your buyer's pocket today versus breaking down $5,000 over a 30-year period, right? If you can put $5,000 in your buyer's pocket today, I think it's better than reducing the price of the home. All right, do you guys agree on that? Now, if it's $30,000 discount, then perhaps you're gonna apply that towards the price of the home and bring down the price by $30,000. I don't know how many sellers are gonna credit you $30,000 at closing, but it's something minor like 5,000, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want to ask for it as a credit towards the buyer's closing costs. All right, and I'll show you inside of an addendum how to add that credit. All right, so this is your full inspection report, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this and let me open up the 4-point inspection. All right, give me 1 second here. Let's open up the 4-point inspection. And let's share that screen with you. So once again, this is the 4-point inspection. All right, and you're gonna see here the applicant name, the address that was inspected, the year of the home. All right, dwelling, each side, roof. All right, plumbing, so it goes through plumbing, also electrical. All right, so it tells you what type of circuit breaker it is, how many amps. Indicate presence of any of the following: cloth wiring, active knob and tube. So if anything is checked here, then there's a hazard, right? There's no hazards, all right? Hazards present, none here as well. And the entire electrical system is satisfactory. All right, the wiring is copper wiring. All right, you're gonna look at that as well. All right, so here's the AC, central AC, yes, central heat, yes. All right, the date of the last inspection, again, this is when the inspection was ordered, March 29th of 2021. And everything is working in order, all right? So wood burning stove, there's no wood burning stove, so no. Space heater used as primary heat source, no. Is the source portable? No. Does the air handler, condense line, or drain pan show any signs of blockage or leakage? No. All right, so the year of the AC is 2010. All right, and this inspection was performed in 2021, so that AC is now 11 years old. Well, now no, now it's 2024, so now it's 14 years old. Plumbing system, all right, there's the the temperature pressure relief valve on the water heater, yes. Is there one? Yes, there is. Any indications of an active leak? No. All right, so go through this, just make sure that everything passes and everything is satisfactory. If there's anything that's unsatisfactory that requires attention, once again, that's something that's gonna need to be taken care of. The insurance company is probably gonna charge you a higher rate if some of these inspection items fail. All right. What type of piping are we looking at? We're looking at copper piping. All right. So keep in mind, guys, if you see a home with this type of piping, polybutylene or butylene, it normally is going to present some type of a problem, and you're going to want to ask for a great discount because you may want to rework all the pipes. All right, the best one is going to be either copper or PVC. And once again, here's the roof, and it talks everything about the roof. It is recommended that a full replacement of the roof is done. All right, because this roof is from 1995, and it says years of usable or useful life is 5 years. So this inspection was done in 2021. As per the inspector, if nothing happens to the roof, if they do not seal it, if they do not work on remodeling or renovating the roof, it's got 5 years left of life expectancy. And your insurance rate will be higher because of an older roof. All right, so plan on replacing the roof. And this is your 4-point inspection, guys. Pretty simple. It goes over the roof, it goes over electrical, plumbing, and the entire dwelling. Then, of course, it's followed up by all the pictures. All right, that is, again, your 4-point inspection. Let's now open up the wind mitigation report. And again, wind mitigation report is going to be ordered at the initial inspection, but also after the homeowner has purchased the home and made some significant updates to the home, like impact windows, doors, garages, and updated the roof. They want to order another wind mitigation report because they're going to need it in order to lower their insurance premium, right? Once they report to the insurance that everything has been updated, everything is impact, and the roof has been replaced, they're going to submit this report to the insurance company, and the insurance rates are going to lower. All right, you're going to receive significant discounts. All right, so here's talking about the roof. It's concrete clay tile, built in 1995. Here is the year of the installation or replacement of the roof and the product approval number. All right, all roof coverings have Miami-Dade product approval listing current at the time of installation. All right, during the roof permit. Okay. And it talks about here the roof deck attachment is plywood, roof sheeting with a minimum thickness of 7 and 16 inch. All right, so it goes about the roof to wall attachment. So it is attached with single wraps. You have double wraps, and you also have clips. All right, so we're not really going to understand none of this unless you're a contractor. Just know that it has been inspected, and there are going to be some recommendations whether it needs to be replaced or not. All right, so right here, we have windows, garage doors, skylights, glass blocks, entry doors, garage doors, and it tells you whether there is something present or not and what type it is. All right, so any questions? You guys have ever seen an inspection report? This is what an inspection report entails. This is what it consists of. All right, so you have your wind mitigation report, you have your inspection report, and you have your 4-point inspection report. All right, so those are the 3 reports I wanted to show you. And what we're going to do now is open up the purchase and sales contract, and we're going to show you where the inspection period is on this purchase and sale contract. So give me 1 second, go in here. All right, so we're looking at a purchase and sales contract. I think I opened the wrong one. You know, let's just use this one, but I thought I was opening a blank one. All right, so you see right here, property inspection. This is in page number 5 of your purchase and sales contract, the as is residential contract for sale and purchase. Page number 5 says property inspection, right to cancel. All right, so property inspections and right to cancel. Buyer shall have, and then you need to indicate how many days is going to be your inspection period. Let's talk about this. If you leave it blank, it defaults to 15 days. Most sellers won't want to wait 15 days to know if the property is going to inspect and it's going to pass inspection, and the buyer is going to continue with the purchase of the sale. So yes, while you can present an offer with 15-day inspection period, they may not like it. They may require you to lower your inspection period to 7 days or maybe 10 days. Here at Elite Ocean View Realty, we recommend that you do a 10-day inspection period. And then the additional deposit, if there's an additional deposit going to be submitted, we submit the additional deposit 2 days after that. So 12 days later. All right. So here we have an 8-day inspection period. That means that the inspection must be performed within the first 8 days. And not just that, but the buyer has 8 days from the date of the purchase contract to back out, to cancel from this deal and get their deposit returned to them, right? It says here, 8 days from inspection period within to have such inspections of the property performed as buyer shall desire during the inspection period. If a buyer determines in buyer's sole discretion that the property is not acceptable to buyer may terminate this contract by delivering written notice of such election to seller prior to expiration of the inspection period. So let's stop right there. All right. At buyer's sole discretion. Guys, there's no questions asked. Your buyer can just say, hey, look, I don't like the color of the home. All right. Or I'm having second thoughts. They can, as long as they're within that inspection period, they can cancel the contract and get their deposit back. All right. If buyer timely terminates this contract, the deposit paid shall be returned to the buyer. Thereupon, the buyer and seller shall terminate or be released of all further obligations under this contract. However, buyer shall be responsible for prompt payment for such inspection. So, if you have a buyer who's aggressively shopping for homes, they enter into a contract, they spend $500 on an inspection, and they end up canceling the contract. And now they're looking at another property. They're going to have to pay another $500 to inspect that second property. So keep in mind that does add up, right? I mean, if you have a buyer, they need to be absolutely sure they really like the house, because there is some cost, right? There is the inspection, and then there also is the appraisal. So when an appraisal occurs, it needs to be paid upfront by the buyer. All right, so buyer prompt payment for such inspections for repairs of damage to and restoration of the property resulting from such inspection shall be and shall provide the seller with the paid receipts for all work done on the property. All right, buyer accepts the physical condition of the property and any violation of the government, building, environmental, and safety codes, restrictions, or requirements, but subject to seller's continuing as is maintenance requirement. Now, as is, this is an as is contract. So if the home is being sold as is, you're going to have a more difficult time trying to negotiate a lower price. Because if the seller's already telling you, hey, I'm selling my home as is, no questions asked, sometimes they'll tell you not even subject to inspection. All right. So we're selling the home as is, and you're going to buy it with all its defects. All right. You're still going to have your buyer read through the contract and agree to sign it or not, right? And if your buyer agrees to buy the home as is, then really you're not going to be able to negotiate anything on the property. All right, because if a home is being sold as is, it's very possible the purchase price or the sales price has been reduced already, right? It's a lower, let's say the homes are selling for $1 million and you see a home now listed at $795,000, then you wonder why. Because the home needs repairs, right? And the seller has reduced their sales price. Now, if the home is $1 million or the comps are $1 million and they're selling it for $1 million and it needs a new roof and it needs new plumbing, then of course you're going to have to negotiate a lower price with that seller. All right. Any questions on the inspection period? All right. So we see a lot of people put 7 days, which is great. That means that your buyer needs to schedule an inspection as soon as the seller signs his contract. As soon as the seller signs his contract, they should be on the phone scheduling an inspection for the following day or the following couple of days so we can get this out of the way. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and close this out, and I'm gonna go into form simplicity and show you how you can ask for a credit on the contract using an addendum. So give me 1 second. Let's open up here form simplicity. All right, let me share this screen. All right, there's a question on the chat. Question currently, what are the approximate prices of an inspection? It could be $300 up to $600. You know, I've had inspections done for 300. I've also seen inspections performed for 500. I've not used one yet where they charge 600, but it could be anywhere between $300 and $600. Inspection reports are also going to be provided to you right away. Most inspection companies will finish their inspection report and they will provide you the final report within 1 hour. And the reason why we recommend that you go to the inspection report with your buyer is because after the inspection is completed, you can then talk to the inspector. And besides reading the report, talk to the inspector, see which areas of the home needs major repairs, and have them recommend, you know, which areas to use as, you know, evidence to try and lower the price, right? So it is recommended that you are present at the inspection during the inspection day. All right, so here we are inside of Form Simplicity. I'm gonna go ahead and open up a blank form and I'm gonna show you the addendum, which is a blank addendum. All right, so let's just go to Florida here, open up Florida, and here's the addendum to a contract. We're gonna open it up. And inspection was performed, and you're gonna ask for a credit towards the buyer's closing costs, right? So of course you're gonna put the number of addendum. So if this is the first addendum, you put 1, and let's say the purchase date was August 1st. All right, so August 1st, and then addendum 1. And of course, you're going to have the name of the sellers, the name of the buyers, and the property address right here. And then in the space provided here, you're going to write the following, right? Seller and buyer agree. Right? And by the way, you already have that up here, right? Seller and buyer make the following terms and conditions part of the contract. So you can really just say seller will credit buyer with $5,000 towards closing costs. But you can also write this: seller and buyer agree that the seller will credit $5,000 towards buyer's closing costs. And then you want to always end with all other terms and conditions remain the same. All right, so you're going to get this signed by both parties, buyers and sellers, and this is an addendum to the contract that now says the seller is going to credit the buyer with $5,000 towards the buyer's closing cost. So now at closing, let's say that the estimate for your buyer's closing cost was $20,000. Now it's $15,000. So now all they have to come up with is $15,000 out of pocket, therefore saving them $5,000 initially in the purchase of the home. So this is why it is recommended that we ask for the credit as or you know, the discount as a credit towards buyer's closing costs. Because if you divide $5,000 by 360 months, you're looking at a monthly savings, right? Let's do that. $5,000 divided by 360 months. You're looking at a monthly savings of $13.80 off the mortgage. The buyer's not really going to feel that versus having an additional $5,000 in their pocket the day that they purchase the home. Okay, so now again, if it turns out that the roof needs to be replaced because it's leaking everywhere, the plumbing needs to be replaced, and the foundation is cracked, and you're looking at a $50,000 discount, then yes, not many sellers are willing to credit you $50,000 at closing. So the idea is to then reduce the price of the home. You can either grab the very same as is contract and just change the price on the contract and have it initialed, or you can do one of these addendums, and instead of writing that the seller and buyer agree to a credit, you can put in that the seller and buyer agree to reduce the purchase price to say 950,000, and then have both seller and buyer sign it, and now you have a new purchase price. Any questions on where to find an addendum, how to fill out an addendum, guys? Addendums are part of every transaction, whether you are going to extend an inspection period, right? So let's say that the inspection has not been performed for whatever reason, and you need to extend the inspection period by a few days. You're going to use one of these addendums, and you're going to say seller and buyer agree to extend the inspection period till, a few days later, and just write the date. And then, of course, all other terms and conditions remain the same. All right. Of course, if your buyer and seller are not able to negotiate any type of credit and you are still within that inspection period, guys, your buyer has every right to cancel, all right, and get out of this contract. What document are you going to use to cancel the contract? Okay, so inside of Form Simplicity, you're going to look for release. All right, so spell the word release right here, and it's release and cancellation of contract for sale and purchase. All right, you need to get this filled out because you need to send this over to the seller. They need to agree to cancel everything. And then you need to send this to the title company so they can return the escrow, right? They can return the deposit back to your buyer. Or if your buyer is going to continue looking for a home and they're going to use the same title company, they can leave that money and escrow for the next property. All right. So here it says by signing this release and cancellation of contract, buyer and seller, all right, are canceling the following contract, check one. All right, which one is it? It's the as is with an effective date. So in this case, we had said August 1st, right? So August 1st. And then the street address or legal description of the property. All right, the name of the brokerage, the buyer broker, the selling broker. And then the amount of the deposit. Let's say the deposit was $15,000 and it's going to be credited to the buyer. All right, so in this case, my buyer is Michael Jordan. All right, so credited towards the buyer. And then have the buyer and seller sign it. Once it's signed, the contract is now canceled. All right, the listing agent will then place the listing back on active status, and your buyer is free to go shopping for another home. Any questions on how to cancel a contract? Now, again, if you attempt to cancel the contract after the inspection period, you may come across some issues. All right, you may come across some issues. Of course, there is the appraisal, so you still have appraisal, and in reality, the contract can also be canceled if ultimately the buyer is not able to obtain a loan, right? If the loan is denied, then they can also cancel out of the contract. The day of cancellation in contract is the day that we made the document. So that's to answer a question on the chat. Yes. So this is not, all right, the day that we are requesting the cancellation. This is the effective date. All right. So with an effective date. So we're talking about the as-is contract with an effective date of August 1st. That means that is when we went into contract. All right. Down here, when they sign it, this is the date that the cancellation was performed. All right. So on which date? And whenever the buyer signs it, whenever the seller signs it, that's the effective date of the cancellation. All right. Guys, that's pretty simple. That is your training inspection process. Make sure you know where to find the inspection companies. You want to go to MiamiRealtors.com. You want to go to affiliates. You want to go ahead and click on the Miami affiliate directory here. And once you're here, you want to look for, right, home inspection and engineering. And use any of these. These are really great. Or ask around, or you can feel free to call me. I know several of these inspection companies, and they're very reputable and professional, and they will get the job done. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This has been your presentation on inspections. I will share the recording with you later today. And if you have any questions, you guys all know how to reach me. All right. So thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Robert.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.